Earth's rising temperatures aren't just an environmental crisis. They're a death sentence for countless species struggling to survive. From the icy Arctic to the depths of the ocean, animals are being pushed to the brink of extinction as their habitats vanish before our eyes. Today, we'll uncover 10 incredible creatures facing this harsh reality. Stick around to the end. You won't believe how close some of them are to disappearing forever. Number 10. The koala, Phascolarctos cinereus. Koalas, native to Australia, are facing an uncertain future due to climate change. Rising temperatures and prolonged droughts are causing severe habitat loss, making it harder for them to find food and water. Koalas primarily feed on eucalyptus leaves, but heat waves and changing rainfall patterns reduce the nutritional quality of these leaves. Additionally, wildfires, intensified by global warming, are devastating large portions of their forests, killing thousands of koalas and destroying their homes. Higher temperatures also increase dehydration risks, forcing koalas to come down from trees in search of water, making them vulnerable to predators and road accidents. As their population declines, conservation efforts focus on habitat protection, reforestation, and rescue programs. However, without urgent action to combat climate change and reduce deforestation, koalas could face extinction in the wild within the coming decades. Their struggle is a stark reminder of how even well-known species are not immune to the dangers of a rapidly warming planet. Number 9. The Hawksbill sea turtle, Eretmochelys imbricata. The Hawksbill sea turtle, a critically endangered species, is one of the marine animals most affected by climate change. Rising ocean temperatures disrupt their nesting patterns, as warmer sand leads to skewed sex ratios, more females and fewer males, threatening future reproduction. Additionally, rising sea levels erode nesting beaches, leaving fewer safe places for females to lay eggs. Coral reefs, which provide vital feeding grounds for hawksbill turtles, are also dying due to ocean acidification and bleaching, making it harder for them to find food. Climate change further intensifies storms and hurricanes, washing away nests and killing hatchlings. These turtles already face threats from poaching, pollution, and accidental capture in fishing nets. Conservation efforts, including habitat protection, reducing plastic pollution, and regulating fishing practices, help slow their decline. However, unless greenhouse gas emissions are reduced, climate-related threats will continue to push the hawksbill sea turtle toward extinction, disrupting marine ecosystems in the process. Number 8. The snow leopard, Panthera uncia. The elusive snow leopard, native to the high mountains of Central Asia, is struggling to survive as climate change threatens its icy habitat. Rising temperatures are melting glaciers and altering snowfall patterns, reducing the availability of prey such as blue sheep and ibex. As warming forces their prey to migrate to higher elevations, snow leopards must follow, further reducing their already limited range. Additionally, climate change increases human-wildlife conflicts as shrinking habitats push snow leopards closer to human settlements, where they may prey on livestock and be killed in retaliation. The loss of alpine meadows also makes it harder for them to find suitable hunting grounds. Conservation programs focus on anti-poaching efforts, habitat protection, and promoting coexistence with local communities. However, if global temperatures continue to rise, the snow leopard's mountainous home may become uninhabitable, pushing this rare and majestic predator to the brink of extinction. Number 7. The African penguin, Spheniscus demersus. The African penguin, native to the coasts of South Africa and Namibia, is facing a severe population decline due to climate change. Rising ocean temperatures disrupt the distribution of their primary food sources, such as sardines and anchovies, forcing the penguins to travel longer distances to find food. This leads to malnutrition and lower breeding success rates. Additionally, extreme weather events such as heat waves and storms destroy nesting sites and kill chicks. Rising sea levels further threaten breeding colonies by submerging nesting areas. The African penguin population has already declined by over 90% in the past century due to habitat destruction, oil spills, and overfishing. Conservation efforts focus on establishing marine protected areas, reducing human disturbance, and restoring breeding habitats. However, without significant action to curb global warming and preserve their oceanic food supply, African penguins could face extinction within the next few decades. Number 6. The Adelie penguin, Pygoscelis adeliae. The Adelie penguin, found along the Antarctic coastline, is highly dependent on sea ice for survival. Climate change is melting this ice at an alarming rate, reducing the penguin's access to food sources like krill, which depend on ice-covered waters to thrive. As ice disappears, penguins must travel farther to find food, leading to increased chick mortality and lower reproduction rates. Additionally, shifting ocean currents and warming waters are altering prey availability, further endangering Adelie penguin populations. Melting ice also exposes breeding colonies to harsh weather and predators. Conservation efforts include protecting key breeding sites and limiting human impact on Antarctic ecosystems. However, without significant reductions in greenhouse gas emissions, Antarctica's changing climate will continue to threaten this species. If global warming persists, large portions of the Adelie penguin population could disappear by the end of the century, disrupting the fragile Antarctic ecosystem. Number 5. The Arctic fox, Vulpes lagopus. The Arctic fox, a small yet resilient predator, is struggling to survive as global warming drastically alters its environment. Native to the Arctic tundra, this species relies on thick fur for insulation and ice-covered landscapes for hunting. However, rising temperatures are shrinking its habitat, reducing access to food sources like lemmings and forcing competition with the larger, more dominant red fox, which is moving northward due to warming conditions. Melting permafrost also threatens den sites, making survival even more difficult. Additionally, unpredictable weather patterns lead to extreme winters and food shortages, causing population declines. While conservation efforts aim to monitor and protect Arctic fox populations, climate change remains a persistent threat. If global temperatures continue to rise, this species may struggle to adapt, leading to drastic declines in numbers. The Arctic fox's plight is a stark warning of how climate change is rapidly destabilizing ecosystems and endangering even the most well-adapted species. Number 4. The polar bear, Ursus maritimus. Polar bears, the largest land carnivores, are among the most iconic victims of climate change. They depend on sea ice to hunt seals, but rising global temperatures are causing ice to melt earlier in the year and freeze later, reducing their hunting season. As a result, many polar bears are experiencing malnutrition, lower reproductive rates, and increased mortality. With fewer hunting opportunities, some bears are forced to swim long distances or venture closer to human settlements, increasing the risk of conflicts. Additionally, warming waters impact seal populations, further limiting the polar bear's food supply. Conservationists have implemented measures like tracking populations and reducing human impact, but without significant reductions in carbon emissions, sea ice will continue to disappear. Scientists warn that if Arctic warming trends persist, polar bears could face extinction in the wild by the end of the century, making them a powerful symbol of the devastating effects of climate change. Number 3. The monarch butterfly, Daunus plexippus. The monarch butterfly, known for its incredible migration across North America, is at serious risk due to climate change. These butterflies rely on specific environmental cues, such as temperature and seasonal changes, to time their migrations. However, rising temperatures and unpredictable weather patterns are disrupting their journey, making it harder for them to find suitable breeding and feeding grounds. Extreme heat also affects the growth of milkweed, the only plant monarch caterpillars can eat, leading to food shortages. Additionally, changing climate conditions threaten their wintering habitats in Mexico, where deforestation and altered precipitation patterns make survival more difficult. With their population already declining due to habitat loss and pesticide use, climate change adds another major challenge. Conservationists are working to protect migratory pathways and restore milkweed populations, but unless climate change is addressed, the monarch butterfly's mesmerizing migrations may become a thing of the past. Number 2. The North Atlantic right whale, Eretmochelys. The North Atlantic right whale is one of the most endangered large whale species, with fewer than 400 individuals remaining. Climate change is drastically altering ocean conditions, affecting their food supply and migration patterns. These whales rely on cold water plankton found in the North Atlantic, but warming seas are shifting these food sources, forcing whales to travel farther to feed. This increases their exposure to threats like ship strikes and entanglement in fishing gear, both major causes of death. Additionally, warming waters are believed to impact reproduction, as fewer cows have been born in recent years. Ocean acidification and rising sea levels also threaten their habitat. Conservation efforts, such as reducing ship speeds and modifying fishing practices, are being implemented, but climate change remains a major risk. If global temperatures continue to rise, the North Atlantic right whale could disappear entirely, marking the tragic loss of a species already pushed to the brink. Number 1. The pika, Octotona princeps. The pika, a small mountain-dwelling mammal, is highly vulnerable to climate change due to its sensitivity to heat. Found in North America's alpine regions, pikas rely on cold, rocky habitats, but rising temperatures are forcing them to retreat to higher elevations. With limited space, many populations are disappearing. Additionally, reduced snowfall affects their ability to store food for winter, increasing starvation risks. Unlike other species, pikas cannot migrate long distances, making them highly susceptible to climate shifts. Conservationists are monitoring populations, but without urgent climate action, these tiny mammals may face local extinctions in the coming decades. The battle against climate change isn't just about saving the planet, it's about saving the creatures that call it home. These species are running out of time, but with awareness and action, we can still make a difference. Which of these animals shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more eye-opening content. Together, we can fight for their future.